I'm Christian Abbott.
I'm Nathan Lavender.
I'm Sean Abbott. And this is the Red Mist Podcast.
Hello, welcome to the Red Mist Podcast, Season 3, Episode 49. I was waiting for Nate.
What do you think? I do. Oh, I always come prepared for this.
I know, but
Do you have one?
it's not what you think.
Oh, let's hear it.
No, it's the 1969 L88 ZL1 Greenwood Corvette.
Ooh,
America,
that's nice.
loud and proud. Love those cars. I love all the Greenwood vets. Anyway, on tonight's episode, it's going to be a freeform show. Racing season has concluded, and we're just going to chat. Just some news, and let's delve into it. Nate, you must be excited with the news from Rick Ware Racing today.
Well, I actually didn't even hear about this, so this is kind of breaking news to me. But
Oh, it's breaking. It's
yeah,
even better.
What did they do?
So, Rick Ware Racing is going to enter the winningest driver from Bowman Gray Stadium in the Clash. Tim Brown.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, is it like? Okay, that's
pretty cool.
You know, isn't it sad? I keep forgetting that they're going to Bowman Gray.
Yeah, a lot of controversy on that, but I'm kind of looking forward to it. Anything's better than where they were.
Well, yeah, I mean, and then they just tear it up and don't go there anymore.
This place is iconic, so anyways. Yeah.
Are you gonna watch this?
Yeah, I'll watch this.
Oh.
I'll watch this. I think Dale Jr. is going to make a comeback just to run here. What do you think?
Yeah.
No?
No? Well, I mean, maybe. He's eligible. He's won the event before, so he can come back at any time.
He can come back. Can Ken Schrader come back?
Ken Schrader, yep. I think the last time he did it he was actually, funny enough, with Red Bull Racing when Scott Speed was in the car.
Speed?
Yep.
And they had to make sure the car got into the Clash.
Yeah.
Is that why?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep. So.
All right. So that's exciting news right there.
That is.
I like that. That's a nice story.
Yeah.
I think Nate would have been all over that.
Well, I mean, normally, yeah. So I don't think he's done any Xfinity or truck starts. So
nope.
right to Cup is pretty nice.
He's moving up from modified right to Cup. Runs in the Tour modifieds down there.
Yes. Yeah.
I think it's cool. Anyways.
It's a cool story.
Yep. Other cool story.
Yeah, so,
Parker Kligerman will be at the Daytona 24 driving.
What the heck is he driving?
He's going to be running in GTD with Forte Racing and Big Machine. Well, Forte Big Machine Racing.
Interesting.
That'll be good.
So Lamborghini.
In a Lamborghini, yeah.
Yep. Interesting. He's a road course ace, so I think he'll pick it up pretty quickly.
He's good. He'll be driving also with Misha Goldberg, who is very good in GTD cars.
Yep.
So that's exciting news. I don't think... Did we touch on this last week? The big news in GTD Pro?
No, that came after.
That did?
Yeah.
So, Trackhouse, my favorite team in NASCAR,
Now in IMSA.
Yep. Along with TF Sport, are now going to put a GT3 GTD Pro Corvette into the race. The car will be driven by up-and-comer Connor Zilic, who is a Trackhouse contracted driver. The amazing Ben Keating. But Ben needed another ride for the weekend, so he's going to do a Corvette and his LMP2 ride.
Has he won Daytona in a GT car?
I don't know. The fact that no,
the fact that I'm asking that question.
That Ben has?
No, the fact that I'm asking the question of has he won the race in a different class?
Well, he's won a prototype, I think, because he's won twice, I think, in GT cars at Le Mans.
Right, but I have no idea.
Let's go to the stats.
But it's just amazing. Just amazing that the guy straps himself into two different cars. I love it. He's a racer. But the bigger news is their duo that they'll be driving with.
Yeah,
one is Trackhouse Cup driver Shane Van Gisbergen, and the other is his adversary from Australian Supercars, but best friend from New Zealand, Scotty Mack.
Yeah, 2-3 times.
Or as Lee Diffie says, Scott McLaughlin. Well, that'll be good.
Says
do we get Diffie for the 24?
I mean, I'd imagine so.
Oh, he's going to be saying Scott McLaughlin.
If it's NBC.
Yeah. I think the car is going to be sponsored by Sanzio, too, Christian.
Sean, you're crazy, man.
Interesting fact. Ben Keating has not won at Daytona.
He has not won it. This is going to be the only track he hasn't won at.
He's had a second and a third. A second and 2/3.
Well, let's see what happens.
But he has not won at Daytona. So that is
now with that. I will say this:
he's won Le Mans twice in class.
I will say this: with that lineup as a one-off, that's a good possibility of happening.
Yeah, it's a scary lineup.
It is a scary lineup. There's two other scary lineups too.
Yeah.
Well, that I've seen, but that are coming out. So very cool. So excited to see that. Nate, what do you think?
Well, I think that's just a dangerous lineup because you have 2 3-time Supercars champions. Ben Keating, who is becoming Mr. Endurance himself. And this entry is in pro class. So they mean some business with this lineup.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like Trackhouse is kind of the partner team with this, but TF Sport runs the cars in Europe, so pretty exciting. Right. I'm excited to see that.
And personally, I'm excited for Connor Zilic to be in this kind of.
Oh yeah, yep.
You know, because he was last year in LMP2, so it'll be cool to see what he can do in a GT car.
But Nate,
and he gets along.
You mentioned this difference of them being in the pro class versus the AM class, but we all know what's going to happen this Daytona 24. An AM car is going to win the GT class overall. That's what.
Yeah, it could happen. Yeah.
Because
but that's exactly how this happens. Because honestly, there is no. I don't think there's a difference.
No, and that's my point. It should just be
which
one
I
class
think is the
right. No
which
separation.
Is the way it should be. Yeah, and I don't care if you got like 5 pro drivers, stacked in there.
Yeah,
I don't care.
Yeah, I mean,
because we have seen. Yeah, we see it all the time.
Yeah,
so.
We've seen someone win the Daytona 500 that way.
He did. Yeah.
So
it's exciting. After driving an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Hey, but you know what? Did their job.
Yep, that's true. Paid the bill.
Yes.
This part.
All right. Some other news. Ollie Berman tested Christian's favorite racing series.
Yes.
A Super Formula car.
Yes. I think he was third fastest.
He was.
Which is fun.
He was.
Totally fine. No worries there.
Oh my God,
Felipe
freaking crazy.
Fraga was
Yeah, Felipe Fraga was in
topped
that.
the timesheets in that. And oh, who was supposed to? Someone else was supposed to test that car, but ended up having to pull out.
Oh yeah, who? Yeah, somebody did. Dude. Oh, was it Toto's new boy there, Kimmy?
Oh yes, yeah, it was supposed to be Antonelli, but he ended up.
Right, and he had a tummy ache.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yep.
But
Right.
Behrman's uh, comments post test session were kind of interesting, where he noted that it felt, because he's driven the F1 car and hasn't driven Super Formula, but he said that the Super Formula car was pretty F1 like, just without the DRS.
DRS, yeah.
'Cause
Crazy.
the car is lighter than the F2 car, which really makes it come alive. So
That's awesome.
just
Yeah.
it's always nice to see guys driving multiple different cars, because then you get this kind of insight of where every car around the world kind of stacks up against one another.
Yeah. All right. Some other news. Nate,
Yes.
guess who's entering the Chili Bowl?
Our homegirl, Catherine Legg.
Yes. Oh, that was
Yeah.
that was exciting that you knew that.
Yeah, no, listen, I love Catherine Legg. I think she's the best.
Really.
Well, she's one of my favorite female drivers in all of racing.
I would never know by the way you stalked her.
No, I don't stalk. I just accidentally cut the whole line.
Yeah.
That's all.
So she had a seat fitting today. Other entries that have been added in the last week or so include Rico Abreu, some guy named Kyle Larson.
Yeah, I can imagine who that is.
Took a year off last year. He's coming back this year.
Well, he's already won it.
It doesn't matter. Anytime anytime Larson and what's his name there, Brad Sweeter in, it's all good. Enrico, it's all good. I don't know if there's. I got to go find I'll find the entry list. It's impressive. It's freaking impressive. That is like, I win the lottery. That's one event I'm going to. Because you have to go for the whole week.
Right.
All right. See what else happened in the world of elsewhere.
Well, kind of circling back to the Rolex 24. I mean, in GTP, there are some astonishing lineups.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, both Wayne Taylor cars.
The other thing is we're waiting on the Lamborghini too.
Well, the one Lamborghini, the 63, already has.
It's entered, but it's not. There's no team assigned to it yet.
The Lamborghini Iron Lynx.
The GTP car. It's not being run by Prema anymore. So
okay, so
rumor has it that Faf may run it.
The Lamborghini Iron Lynx number 63.
Yes,
it's already on the entry list.
Yeah, well,
I'm just taking a look at it. I mean, I'm just seeing drivers: Roman Grosjean, Danny Kvyat.
Yeah, they're all factory drivers. Is there say who the team is? Does it say Prema?
Lamborghini Iron Lynx is the team.
It still says that. Okay, because there's a lot going on with that right now. So.
Oh, okay.
Hopefully, good thing. Hopefully, it'll be running.
Well, let me tell you, there are some scary lineups here. I mean, the Meyer Shank number 60. Don't get me wrong, like Tom Blomqvist, Colin Braun, Scott Dixon, Felix Rosenquist.
Yeah.
Oh God, how is it? Man,
how many Acuras are they running?
Because the other one has Ranger Van der Zee and
there.
Alex Palou.
Alex Palou. Who else is the other driver in that car?
The 93.
Yeah, and the other one. Yeah, the one Van der Zander's driving. Who's the other?
British driver Nick Yelly.
Oh, Nick Yellow. Yep.
Yeah. And then Japanese driver Kaku Ota.
Okay, so Yellowly and Van der Zander, I think, are the full season drivers in that car.
Gotcha.
So that's cool. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, and even the BMW drivers. There's some good names there. K-Mag. Always fan of.
K-Mag's going to be there.
And they rest.
I believe somebody's returning to LMP2 this year. I believe Colton Herter is running in LMP2.
Yes, he is, with George Kurtz.
Oh, that's right.
CrowdStrike car. Yeah.
That'll be fun.
But the one I'm looking at is where Sebastian Bourdais is, at Tower Motorsports.
Who's in the car with him?
Some drivers I really don't know. John Ferrano.
John Ferrano, yeah. He's a gentleman driver.
And then Sebastian Alvarez from Mexico. And Job van Uter from the Netherlands. I probably botched the last name. I'm so sorry in advance.
Gotcha. It's all right. And then, it's exciting.
And Felipe Massa makes his return. He's in LMP2.
Oh.
From what I see, he'll be in the Riley.
Oh, with Gar Robinson.
Yep.
And is Felipe Fraga?
Felipe Fraga. Yep. Yeah.
Who's their other driver?
Josh Burton.
Josh Burton. Okay.
Australian guy. Australian.
LMP2 is gonna. That'll be fun.
Isn't there another F1 driver that's taking part in it this year, or am I missing that? Not K-Mag.
Not K-Mag.
No, I think
for talking X F1, our boy Pool De Resta.
Oh, Paul De Resta.
Yeah.
Pool De Resta.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see.
Who's? Is Jensen Button in the Cadillac with Wayne Taylor or no?
Not assigned.
Who's
Alex Lynn? Okay, so in the 40 with Jordan Taylor, Louis Delatrez, Alex Lynn, Mui Kobayashi.
That's fine.
And then with Ricky Taylor's car, we have the Felipe Albuquerque, Will Stevens, and Brendan Hartley.
Brendan Hart, yeah. The weak link on that entire thing is Alex Lynn, who has a penchant for crashing cars. He was the guy that crashed the wheeling car on the first lap 2 years ago.
Oh, God.
I mean, am I going to be that guy? Tom Bloomquist, who crashed every Indy car he got into?
Yeah, but when he's in a sports car, he's super fast.
Good. Yeah.
In a sports car, he's good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like, what do you want?
Don't crash the car.
Yeah, well, way it goes.
Oh, man.
Man.
I think really going to keep him in sports car, I guess, because, man, he lost him a lot of money in IndyCar. Yeah.
No, I know.
So.
All right.
We didn't even touch.
What else we got?
Anyway, I'm just more impressed with the.
It's very exciting.
Yeah.
So, rumors percolating that Checo is out.
I mean, finally, right?
This rumor has been floating around for months now at this point. So what's new?
I thought it was floating around for years. Now it's percolating. It percolated again today. So,
well, yeah.
I have to think it's coming.
Well, and the latest rumor, and it could be revealed now at this point, but today it was Lawson. Yesterday it was
Yeah.
supposedly Sonoda. Like at one point he was on the top, and then
Imagine if it's Max Verstappen is out and going to Dalecoin Racing.
I'm
Sean. But okay, if anything, isn't it rumored that he'll eventually jump ship from Red Bull to go to Mercedes?
No,
no. I thought the rumor is that he's gonna go to
well,
Aston.
so I think he's going to Aston. That's just my opinion.
Okay.
Because I think two things there. Aston, if he goes there, he has an opportunity to go to a team that slash manufacturer that has a Le Mans team, a prototype team. Now that he's touched the prototype, he's interested.
Mm-hmm. Well, and he's always been interested in Le Mans. Like he's had a
yeah.
He's said
even
that
even at the GT3 level, but I don't think he's going there unless Mercedes is going to commit to an LMDH program, but which they might. But I would.
Well, that's a lot of bad history with.
I don't know, but the way they're trending is backwards.
Well, and if he does, if he goes to Aston Martin, they'll be teamed up with Honda, so then he can have a choice between the Valkyrie or
an Acura, right?
If the Acura does finally put in an entry into WEC.
Is it? Yeah. Actually, Acura is only an North American market.
Yeah. So they would have to Acura would have to rebrand as Honda.
It's a Honda, yeah.
Yeah.
What about maybe he'll go to Cadillac?
Who knows? Yeah.
I mean, Daniel Ricciardo's out. He's made it clear he's not. I don't think he's coming back to Formula One.
When did that happen?
I saw a post the other day.
It was some like
it's probably BS.
But
what was on? Was it on? Was it on F1? F1 Troll X?
No. Someone just
what I'm talking about.
A fan just walked up to him and was like, "Hey, you coming to Cadillac?" And he's like, "No." Like it sounded like he was just kind of done.
Yeah. No.
Which, if that's the case, then I mean that's fine. Like I don't.
That's fine.
So be it. I mean, I've always
playing the game at this point.
No, and I've been one where I'm thinking, okay, I would even call it that he's done. I don't know. The only reason I could see him coming back is to help a new team, not to join a team that's trying to figure it out in F1. Like Haas, he'd never go to Haas. I can never see him going to Haas.
Well, if he was gonna do the American market, like Haas would have made sense this year.
Well, sure.
I'm sorry, even from his if he was gonna try and go to Haas instead of Ocon, he could have done that.
Right.
Or during the time when he was trying to come back to Red Bull and Toro Rosso or Racing Bulls, whatever. He could have just went to Haas directly. Like if he wanted to get into the so-called American market,
right,
and play that.
Yep. Okay. Sebastian Montoya, full season in F2,
and he's grown up. That is unbelievable.
Huh?
And what team is he even going to be like?
I think he's actually. It's Prema. I think it's Prema. It's Prema.
Oh wow! Oh okay. So he's going to be a contender.
Yeah.
For wins and maybe a championship, right? But
yep.
Let's see.
I guess. He finished 17th in F3 though.
Christian, how many Americans we got in F2 next year? We got
2.
Jack Crawford.
And Max Esterson. Yeah. And Crawford's the more likely candidate at this point for an F1 ride.
Well, how much money does he bring?
Yeah, I was going to say money is the only question out of all this. So it really depends. I mean, well, but Colton's already got a foot in the door because he's already sponsored by the company that's funding Cadillac F1.
Yeah, he just doesn't have. He's got to make sure he has a super license. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
Um. Wow. All right. That's exciting.
Go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah. Just taking a quick peek to see if there's anything else. Anybody anything else they want to chit chat about?
I mean, I'm counting down to the Daytona 500, but that's just me. Okay, so just saying, guys, just saying. I mean, it's the 67th Daytona 500, February 16th. Oh man, I am counting down those days. Probably gonna be on a ship watching it, but still, or in another country, but we'll see.
Apparently, Rwanda has put in a bid to host an F1 race in
Oh,
2026.
I have heard about this.
and we were just there for the gala.
Yeah, that's why I imagine, I'm sorry, that's what I was trying to put together of why would you go to Rwanda for this, and that kind of makes sense that you would
I couldn't think of
announce a
one
bid for
reason.
that. I have no idea. I mean, other than Kailami in South Africa, I am not familiar with any other racetrack in Africa.
South Africa,
No,
right?
just in Africa in general. Yeah, Kailami's in South Africa,
Oh my gosh, yeah,
I'm
yeah. I
not
was like, wait
not
a
aware of
minute. Yeah.
any other racetrack in Africa.
I got just a quick question, Christian.
Mm-hmm.
Golf related. Is that Rory McIlroy thing tonight?
I have no
Or
idea
was
what you're
this?
talking about.
He and Scotty were playing Koepka and Dembo
I have no idea.
in
Is this another
Vegas.
match thing?
Yeah, I didn't know.
I'm so off the grid on
All right.
PGA Tour.
It looks like
the
it. I don't know.
the FedEx Cup finished what, months ago at this point.
Yeah,
I've
months
checked
ago.
out of
Anyway,
I've checked out of golf because the season ends so early in the season, just like IndyCar.
I know. Yeah.
Speaking of grid, do we? I got to tell you, I think 2025 is going to be Lance Stroll's last year. It has to be, right? Because 2006
I
comes around.
I
I don't
don't
think
Nate
Adrian Newey
Nate
wants
Nate.
a.
His top engineer is saying that him and Alonso are equal.
No, Mike Crack is on crack. Okay, for saying that he is. He's just protecting. He's protecting his job. He
Nate
wants to get paid.
Nate.
Okay.
His words.
What?
His
Sorry.
words.
Sorry. I know. And I laughed when I said that. I'm like,
His words.
he couldn't keep a straight face saying that, I bet. What do you want me to say? Like, this guy is.
I mean,
There's a reason why Lawrence Stroll hired him. He's a yes man.
my other thing too is I am also skeptical of when Alonso is going to call it a career.
Wouldn't it be the biggest joke if he leaves before the 2026 season and then they win the drivers or constructors championship with?
Yeah.
Well, so I mean, say, because this is the thing that I'm getting kind of caught up in. If Alonso stays in 26,
Yep.
and Max, and all of this too is assuming that Max leaves his Red Bull contract because he's contracted through 28 with Red Bull.
Right.
So
Yeah.
if he transitions to Aston, he would have to break the contract, which, although I think there's a clause of if the car is not competitive,
he has
or
outs. Yeah.
some performance clause in there.
Yeah.
So if he wanted to go to Aston, then, and say he does it in 26,
Right.
or even 27 by that matter. How old is Alonso going to be at that point? Do you keep him and sign on Max, which means you drop Lance? Where's Lance going to go? What does that mean
Right.
for Lawrence's sake and personal investment in the whole project? Because I mean, outside of making a little bit of money and having his kid be an F1 driver, I mean, what's to gain from his end? And I mean, from Lance's point of view, I mean, every time I see him in an interview or talking about
Yeah.
racing, whatever, he doesn't seem interested at all.
Right.
It's not conveyed that he cares, and that's a huge problem for a selling point of like why keep him, and especially if Alonso, this 40-something-year-old guy, is outpacing Lance at this point. I mean,
Yeah.
that's there's some big red flags with this whole situation, but I'm not saying that Lance is awful because I think he is better than some drivers on the grid, but
Yeah.
he's definitely not um, giving a reason of why he wants to stay.
Gotcha.
You don't think he's the worst driver on the grid?
No.
We have differing opinions on such because he's the clear cancer on the grid.
If you
I'm
look
not
at
a-
if you look at head to head for teammate battles, yes, he is in a worse boat. I think Perez is on the hot seat for
Yeah.
a given reason. But I mean, for Perez, it's like you've been given this chance to be in the best car on the grid, and you're not delivering. I know you can argue that it's purpose built for Verstappen. Okay, fine, but at the same point, you have to perform and beat at least the other cars in the grid,
Mhm.
or be at least within contention. Like even if you're not at Max's level, like you have to be in the top 8 consistently, and he's not. With
Well,
Yeah.
Lance, it's like Aston is so inconsistent that it's hard to get a target on it because there is some weeks where they're in the points, and then other weeks like that Lance is the fastest one and Alonso is struggling on a week. So it's not like he's doing as bad as Perez is in Red Bull.
Right.
I differ that because Perez is still 8th in points. I think of the teams, right? There were 4 top teams, A teams. Even if you want to call it that. And there was only really one B team this year, and it was Aston. And Fernando Alonso was still able to keep in the top 10 in points, and Lance Stroll wasn't. Okay, he got beat up by C team drivers.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely didn't start the year off strong. I'll give you that because then once you get into the season, Aston kind of fell away even more. Haas really elevated themselves, and they were just a little bit too late to the party to try and um, make it eventful against Aston. And then Alpine was very late to the party and had probably the strongest last 3 to 4 races out of anyone down there. But I mean, up until they sacked Sargent was definitely the worst driver on the grid.
He was awful.
Like I think Stroll was better than Sargent, and then it's hard to give criticism or take any kind of or make any good comparison with Colapinto, but I mean Colapinto was crashing a lot for the few races that
Yeah.
he had. So I mean,
He had a hot start and then he cold finish.
But I mean, there were weeks where he was competitive with Albon, like right out of the gate, and he's had way less experience than Albon. So I mean, if you give him some time, maybe. But I mean, this is the tough thing with F1. Like you're starting to see the transition of what is the old guard on the grid to this new guard, and at a time like this, you can't have performances like that. You have to be good day in and day out. And I mean, everyone can view the the Helmut Marko and Red Bull approach as being cutthroat and whatever, but I mean, that they get results that way. So
Yep.
and if that's their way of finding someone, they'll find someone. I mean, Verstappen is a very special case in that, but they were able to do it.
Yeah.
So, and if you have this, yeah, it might be a revolving door, but at least they can make the argument that they're getting young guys into an F1 seat.
Mm-hmm.
So whether that's for 5 races or 20 races, they're getting guys into seats. Whereas other teams, Alpine, putting Doohan in the car is the first time they've put a young guy from their young driver program into the F1 car in like 5 or 6 years, I think. Because Joe Guan Yu was the closest.
Yes.
And then they didn't because Alonso came in at that time. So it's it's like the program there is useless. I mean, Williams is, I guess Williams and Sauber to an extent are kind of the next few young driver programs that you could argue that guys are that manufacturers are getting young guys into seats, but I mean, even with those programs, it's very selective. Like, you have to be Charles Leclerc kind of deal to get into that. And then with Williams and Mercedes, like, you have to bring money. Like, that's outside of having some talent. Like, you have to bring money. I mean, Kimi, I wish him all the best, but he is kind of the first true young talent, I guess, that they've taken a chance on to just throw him in an F1 car. I say that without knowing any of his financial background of how he's being supported at all, but I know everyone has to have some kind of financial connection to whatever it is they're doing, because this is expensive.
He's got Toto.
Yeah. So
what more could you want? Oh, and George Russell.
George Russell, yeah. Anyways. All good points there.
But
excellent.
And then I think Lawson has alluded to it, but the way he got into the Red Bull program, the Red Bull program does seem very results driven. Like, regardless on however much money you bring, you have to perform. So, and Perez is really the outsider in this case, because everyone knows he's there because of cash.
Yeah.
And that
fair point.
Some of it was also timing, because he won Sakir in 2020, and that was at a point where Red Bull kind of had gone through a revolving door of drivers in that second seat, and they were like, all right, let's look outside the driver pool at this time. And Perez was out of a drive, and so they went and signed him.
Right.
So, I mean, like, there's also definitely timing involved in this. Like, it just, yeah. But again, like, Red Bull looked at a result on top of money. They looked at results of what Perez was doing to get there.
I think 100%. But the thing was, if it was only like, if he wasn't 200 and something points behind,
Well, not even that. Like, if you look at the difference between Lewis and Bottas and Vettel and Kimi, like, yeah, there's a clear number one, but it's not every single week and just getting demolished every week too. Like, that's the difference there. So.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. All right. Do we want to stop there, gentlemen, for this week?
I am out of notes.
You are out of notes. I am out of notes as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't really... Oh, the Gulf 12 Hours, what happened?
Yeah, unfortunately,
Did you guys watch that?
I didn't
I-
watch it. I kind of like was keeping some of an eye on it, but
I tried to, but I forgot it was a 2-segment race,
that's right.
and oh
And
man,
this was at Abu Dhabi in Yas Marina, not the other track that's over there, the Dubai track.
it was it was at Abu Dhabi.
Yeah. What? Oh no. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of the that 24-hour endurance series that runs in Dubai.
In Dubai.
Yeah, there's a that
Yeah,
that's a different race. Sorry, I was getting this
right.
confused. This is
Yeah.
But the only thing that I saw was the team that won ended up getting the post race penalty.
Yeah, it
and
was
just lost the
post-race
win.
penalty got thrown out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I mean,
yeah,
kind of stinks about that, but
yeah.
it
That race,
happens.
it's tough when they break it. It started at 11 o'clock Saturday night,
Mhm.
and then it ran for 6, and then came back for another 6. They took like a 3-hour break because of the heat, which they do every year. But
Interesting.
Alrighty.
there we go. Anything else?
Nah, it's kind of light on the
All right.
stuff at this point. Who
All
knows?
right.
Maybe
Well,
we'll hear who gets the Red Bull seat by
yep.
the next one.
We'll be back in 2 weeks with our
Yes.
season-ending episode. So looking forward to that.
Yes. We'll
Yeah,
take a nice break.
Sean, listen, that's number 50. We're gonna have to think of a good number at 50.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't know how many more times we're going to be able to do 50 in a season. That means we're only going to miss.
yeah.
We've only missed 2 weeks. So that's what this
2 weeks.
Next
yeah,
week?
this year.
next week.
I
And
think this was
when
our-
else did we miss?
I think there was one during the summer.
Yeah, it had to be one during the summer. Still, that's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah,
Pretty
pretty
All
good.
things else considered.
I know. Well, the other thing is the Formula One season went later, so we went later.
Yeah.
So, but we'll be back in 2 weeks. Wish everyone a happy holidays, and we'll talk to you before the New Year's.
That's right. Yeah. Happy
And on
holidays,
that note-
everyone. Good night.
Thank you guys for listening to the Red Mist Podcast, hosted by Christian Abbott, Sean Abbott, and Nathan Lavin. It's produced by Christian Abbott, and music is by Alex Wart and Harrison Tate.